This video is for those of you that have too much time on your hands. I like Bible translations, studying them. A lot of people don't. It upsets them. So if it upsets you, that's okay. You don't have to stay. Peace and love. Wander off. Kitty cat videos. But this thing is the Bible from 26 translations. I bought it online. I found it curious. And it was a couple bucks. Mathis Publishers, and it looks like it was put out of a 67 in 1993 and in 1985. And it's useful if you study Bible translations. I like Bible translations. I'm not going to make any money off of it. I'm just one of those guys that have time, especially now since I'm retired, to take a look at Bible translations. Today, there are 450 different English Bible translations. How they do it is they have their RSV, their NIV, and they have their Christian Standard Bible. And what they do is they take the boilerplate name and they make a woman's Bible, a men's Bible, a child's Bible, an easy reader, and all of those things. And that's how they get 450 different translations of the Bible. So that's interesting. Before 1881, we had one. 1800 years, we used the same body of canon. Interesting. So, my thing isn't necessarily modern Bibles are bad. Modern Bibles are very, very different. Matter of fact, if the ESV or the ASV or the Christian Standard Bible put the verses back in that Westcott and Hort took out, I would buy it. Because to me, that'd be a complete Bible. First, second, and third century has the verses that the modern Bibles dropped out. They're tied to the deity of Christ. They're tied to the spiritual warfare. They're tied to the matter of the blood of Jesus Christ and the Trinity. Those verses were all dropped out. Now, I'm like this. I use the King James not because I'm King James only. I use the King James because it matches what the early church taught. So they dropped out these verses. And they had some specialized rules for doing so. They used the Vaticanus and the Sinaiticus. The Vaticanus is well attested. I count the Vaticanus as an important document for understanding how our Bible came to be in English. You know, you've got all these manuscripts and fragments and all these kinds of theories that have come out. Now, the Sinaiticus is quite different. Sinaiticus was sold in several pieces, and they ended up on the table of the translators in 1881. Sinaiticus had one piece sold, a second piece sold, and a third piece sold over several years. So they collate all these pages. Some of them are lighter and darker, and some of them have been aged at different levels. Some of the inks were quite different. Some of the styles of the writing were very, very different between each other. They showed markouts and scrapings and marginal notes from dozens and dozens of different scribes. And so all these pieces were put together. Now the Vaticanus, you can see it on display. It shows a marked continuity between all of the pieces, between all of the leaves. They had to go and get some of the leaves from different places in order to make it even more complete, but it's very, very complete. Sinaiticus is a hodgepodge. And the contemporaries, when they were using it for the translation in 1881, said, "What are you guys doing? This thing looks like somebody added pages." And some of the brethren today and then were suspicious. He sold one piece, and then he went back and got another piece and sold more, and then he went back, got another piece and sold more. And y'all put this thing together, and it's pretty chopped up. So these two manuscripts form the foundation for a reconstructed English Bible. The Westcott and Hort theory was put out in their book. It was put out in 1881. I think I have in 1886. I had to put back together. It was falling apart. They call the King James Bible and the Textus Receptus and the majority text and the Byzantine text vile. They call it corrupt. Shouldn't be considered. Now, in our day and age, people don't use those phrases referring to the Byzantine text because they don't want to be viewed as, censoring. They want to be viewed as objective. But well over 90% of seminary training, biblical training in the universities, is based on Westcott and Hort. They claim eclectic. They aren't producing eclectic Bibles at all. I wrote a bunch of publishers. I said, is there any way we can get an ESV-TR? Can we get an RSV-TR? Can we get a Christian Standard Bible TR where the verses are put back in? I would read that. If they put the verses back in, no brackets and no footnotes and no, little sayings. Earlier manuscripts don't have this, and better manuscripts don't have this. If they just put the verses back in, I'd buy an ESV. It'd be an ESV TR. I'd buy the ASV. It'd be an ASV TR. I'd buy the Christian Standard Bible TR. I'd use it. My point isn't that they don't have excellent translations. My point is they use a theory, the authors of which called the church Bible, the one they used for 1800 years, vile. They called it corrupt. They said it needed to be reconstructed. They needed to use a very small minority of manuscripts, one of which has a checkered providence, to decide what God said. That's my objection, not King James only. I use the King James because it represents the apostolic teaching. I'm not on the bandwagon, but I am very plainly spoken when I say that modern Bibles have a very difficult time proving to me that they've done very much good when it comes to the English Bible tradition and the English Bible translations.